This is not a video for deep analysis. This is just a moment for reflection. I want to take you back through the mists of time to the dawn of the Nintendo Switch, or, if you prefer, the dawn of the Wii U, or the dawn of the Wii or 3DS. We're going to meet you, the younger you, and possibly even by the demographics of this channel, if you've opted for the Wii era, then the prenatal you. And you're just going to whisper to yourself some tales about the new Nintendo system to come. On this Nintendo system, in the first 6 months, you will tell your younger self there will be a massive 3D Donkey Kong game made by the genius team behind the 3D Mario titles, the absolute top of Nintendo's development pantheon. With Pauline reinvented as the lead, it will respect the past but also forge a bold new identity. In the same 6 months, you will whisper, there will be a Kirby game, not even a mainline game, but a niche spin-off, but helmed by one of and possibly the most in-demand game director of the modern gaming scene, Masahiro Sakurai himself, and it will be treated with the same prestige as any AAA title. And on this system, 1 day short of 6 months in, there will be a Retro Studios Metroid Prime game, where the studio has received all the time and backing it needs to do the very best it can do. And as your little and possibly yet to be existent eyes shine in anticipatory wonder, as your salivary glands overflow with tales of promise and possibility, we return to the future. A future, unfortunately, where you've now been sectioned under the Mental Health Act for believing in such seemingly implausible possibilities. That's time travel for you. And yet, in 2025, here we are. There is reason enough to fear, to doubt, to worry, to moan, to fret, but let's just take a moment to go, wow. Any one of these games would be a wonder. All three is pretty darn miraculous. Now, before this gets too glutinously sentimental, of course, Nintendo is doing all this for a reason. They want to build their franchises of Donkey Kong, Kirby, and Metroid. But honestly, the odds in the medium term, or even the moderately long term, are that all three of these games are far poorer investments than doubling down on other titles would have been. And my suspicion is that if I took back in time most corporate leaders, they would make a different bet for the company. Take Donkey Kong Bonanza. If Bonanza starred not Donkey Kong and Pauline, but Mario using some kind of super power-up to allow him access to the same mechanics, the game would sell at least millions more, and possibly 2 or 3 times the final numbers that Bonanza will. It's hard to say without knowing what Bonanza's final numbers will be, but either way, it seems likely that the Mario effect would increase those numbers significantly. They could have done this. It started as a prototype for a game with a Goomba after all. Mario can change into things. Mario Goomba would easily have worked. Heck, they could have done Mario turning into Donkey Kong. But instead, they doubled down on Donkey Kong right from the start, and not as a cheap tie-in. For anybody who hasn't played Bonanza yet, all I'll say is that it is very evident that the people behind this game have a true love for everything that Donkey Kong has come to be over the years. Consider also Kirby Air Riders. If you are going to provide a vast amount of funding for Masahiro Sakurai to produce a brand new game, the obvious candidate would not be a sequel to an ultra-niche spin-off of a franchise which has never even broken 10 million in sales. Even if Sakurai weren't working on Smash, he could have been working on a new IP targeted to a broad appeal, and there's a decent chance it would have done far better than Air Riders likely will. And yet, Air Ride was beloved, and now its sequel is showing to those of us who never really paid much attention to Kirby over the years just why that is. And it seems to be something that Masahiro Sakurai himself is passionate about, and I am all for giving those brilliant creators the space to do what they really love and care about. And then we have Retro Studios. In the time Retro's had on Metroid Prime 4, they could easily have completed for Switch the, let's say, Mario Kart 7 Deluxe game. They worked on the original Mario Kart 7 after all. Now, it might have undercut the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sales a bit, but all told, it would obviously be way more profitable for them to be doing another Mario Kart game than whatever Metroid Prime 4 is likely to bring in under even the most optimistic of circumstances. There is a long-term payoff that Nintendo hopes to achieve from growing these three properties, but fundamentally, Each of these three games are love letters to the franchises they come from. They are both innovative and yet also show a deep understanding of the roots and core gameplay principles that first made each title beloved. In two of these cases, it's actually the very same people at the helm as were at the helm of the very best in the series. This isn't how other long-running niche series work. And obviously there are Nintendo fans and Nintendo franchises which don't get the same kind of love that these three have received. I'm expecting Time Travel Me to come back any moment now to tell me about the love poured into Advance Wars, Wario Land and Kid Icarus in 2034. But as I'll cover in a video very soon, now some franchises, the Golden Sons among them, really are left in the dust. But it's still a great time to be a Nintendo fan. There are major franchises, Mega Man, Panzer Dragoon, Banjo-Kazooie, my beloved Shining Force, where fans are routinely left high and dry, if they're even considered at all. The absolute love and time and money and prestige that has been lavished, utterly lavished, on these three relatively niche franchises, that feels to me unusual. It's an unusual amount of confidence in the capacity of their teams to deliver a quality product. It's an unusual amount of confidence that fundamentally the games are fun and the franchises are worthwhile and the company will grow from these decisions, maybe not in the short term, but in the medium to long term. As far as we know, these studios are not crunched to death while they're making these games either. There's no evidence of a microtransaction monsoon coming my way when I want to progress in any of these amazing titles. And sure, there's a catch like there always is. The catch is on the price sticker for the console and the games, and in the yawning silence of time between releases. The games are expensive, and the games take time. Everyone will take a different perspective, but personally, I think that's a better catch than most. I mentioned a while ago comparisons with 2017 to 2025, and in that video I pointed out that 2017 really wasn't the 2017 of legend while it was still 2017. There were long game droughts, months with only ports, games that arrived far less full-featured or with less polished graphics than their final forms turned out to be, but none of that mattered because when you look back, you see Breath of the Wild, ARMS, Splatoon 2, Super Mario Odyssey, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and little else really matters. Plus, Snipperclips was awesome. Now, 2025 may not quite match those dizzying highs, but I think a year with Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby Air Riders, and Metroid Prime 4 will still be regarded with considerable awe. I really hope this pays off. I think there's a chance that all three of these series are propelled permanently into a space of bigger budget and high prestige, which is not just good because I love all three, but also because those franchises coming up behind them will get a shot too. But whatever happens, however the sales look at the end of Switch 2's life, I can't let this moment pass without recognizing, wow, this is a special time in gaming. Irrespective, frankly, of what you think of the games themselves, just the fact that three such beloved franchises were given true and authentic, high-effort versions with absolutely massive backing from top teams at Nintendo who really could have been doing anything else. That is special, and I'd like to take a moment just to soak that in. Thanks for watching, thanks to the patron supporters of the channel, and I'll see you next time for another Nintendo Forecast.